Hi everyone, it's Sal Jade and I'm coming to you live here today for our monthly free psychic presentation where I'm going to be answering any questions that you have about your course or any questions that you have around your psychic development, any kind of challenges you might be experiencing. This is a great opportunity to ask me those questions. I'm also going to be presenting to you some really powerful topics that have come through as questions for me this month that students have sent me. So we're going to be covering these following topics. We're going to be covering really powerful rituals that you can use to open up or to shut down if you're having some extra stress in your life and you're feeling like you're downloading way too much information. We're also going to be looking at crystals and which crystals you should be using at what times and how to use them. We're going to look at what happens when, say, a psychic tells you that you've got one particular psychic gift, like maybe a psychic said you're clairvoyant, but you're having experiences that are very different to that and how to manage that and what that could mean. We're also going to be looking at how to unblock your psychic gifts and how to unblock yourself, particularly in regards to doing the guardian angel meditation in this course, because I know sometimes people have had troubles with being able to feel like they see or hear or connect with anything. So I'm going to give you some extra tips. And we're also going to be looking at a little bit of the lighter side of playing with your psychic gifts. So I hope you get loads out of this today. And for those of you who are not joining me live, you can just type in #replay so that I know that, you know, if you're asking me a question afterwards, I can come back and look at it. If you're viewing this in the Udemy educational announcement that I'm sending out to you, then, you know, if there's something that really resonated with you, by all means, reach out to me at sal@saljade.com and let me know, or you can post it in your Udemy course. Hi, Jen. Hello, beautiful. How are you going with your kitties being on holidays? I know a lot of my gorgeous American friends have got school holidays coming up. I hope you're okay with having kitties home all the time. Hello, Eileen. Your little ones, are they asleep? Because I know you said you weren't sure if you were going to be here because of them. Hi, Ashley. Hello, Marion. Hello, gorgeous. It is so good to see you guys. Thank you for coming. So before I get started, and so if you have questions along the way, please pop them in and I'll answer them after this. And as I said, if you've got any comments, just let me know. If I say something that makes you go, woohoo, then, you know, give me a little love heart or a like so I know that it's really resonating with you. And I'm going to get stuck into it. So first of all, as always, thank you to all the wonderful students in the course that have given me reviews and reviewed How to Be Psychic this month. I really appreciate it. I know how time consuming it can sometimes be if we're busy, especially if we're doing a course on a phone, but those of you that have taken that care to write a few comments about what you got out of the course, I really appreciate it. So thank you to Kathy Jones, thank you to, I'm going to say some very bad pronunciations here, sorry, Anna Beatrice Toledo, I hope I got that right, Roxanne Moore, the lovely Natisha Gupta, who's been asking some really great questions on the Q&A board, and Juliana Guevara. Thank you guys so much for your beautiful reviews. Eileen, no, your babies are, thank you, I appreciate it. Hi, Bianca, your babies are sleeping. They helped you, they helped me by watching a movie and the other's helping me hand washing. As much as a 2-year-old can help, oh, bless them. That's so gorgeous. Well, awesome. I'm glad you could be here. So, yes, thank you to everyone that's come and thank you to who has reviewed my course. I really, really appreciate it. So I'm going to get stuck right into it now. I'm going to talk about, so Nikki posted this brilliant question in the group, and I love the questions that I get from you guys. It always excites me, about, you know, asking about what kind of rituals you can use if there's, if you want to shut down or if you're particularly wanting to open up during stressful periods. So she mentioned that she was having some very stressful, like her life can be quite polarizing. Sometimes she's very open, sometimes she's very closed, and how to differentiate or how to add some rituals that will actually enhance that or stop it when you don't want it anymore. So the first thing I'll say is that I'm a big fan of acknowledging that sometimes the soul and the body and the third eye just need a break. Like, so sometimes it's really not a good idea to be open. Like, I'll give you an example. A classic example would be something like Christmas time. So Christmas time, and I think Nikki even mentioned something about spending time with the family and Eckhart Tolle, and you think you're enlightened, go spend time with your family. But any times when you know you're going to be in a situation that can really challenge you or stress you, then I would say it's probably a good idea to have a word with your angels and just say, I want to be a bit closed right now because I don't want to be absorbing everybody else's stuff. Okay, I really need to be really present with what's going on for me. And the way I suggest you do that, particularly if you've got a lot of stress going on in your life, and so this applies to the question of how do I stay open when I'm stressed and how do I close down, don't make a big deal of it, okay? So what I mean by that is you probably don't want a big, massive ritual, because if you're already got a lot of stuff going on and you're feeling a bit traumatized, a bit overwhelmed, then having to remember how to do this and light this candle and then pray to this God and then whirl around 5 times and jump up and down or whatever it is you're going to do. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I do that all the time. But if I've got a lot going on, I actually know that my soul just needs something very simple to close down. So what I do is I just go and I walk in nature. I go for a little wander, or even just sit with a plant or a tree, and I just say, angels, can you just shut me down for now? Okay, or only send me what I can handle, because I am totally overwhelmed and I don't really want to be absorbing anything right now. And they will do that. Like they get that. They get that you don't want to be open and receptive all the time. So just say to them, just a simple word really for me is just going out and just saying, I need to be shut down. And I'm going to talk about crystals more, but I just get a black tourmaline and I hold it in my hand and I just say, I need to close off now. That's, no more information. Just let me process what's going on now. I need to be in here for me. And it kind of hilariously, I'm thinking of a friend of mine who has 4 children. And when she went to give birth to her 4th child, and she was talking about her husband being there and how she'd always loved him there. But then with the 4th child, she was like, you know what, I think I just need to be alone with me, and I need to be in my body, and I need to do this because I don't want to have to take care of you or, worry that you're worried about me. And so she made that decision to just, focus on her inner thing. And that's a little bit, I know it's different on some levels, but that's a little bit what it's like when you want to close down. It's like, okay, I'm just focusing on me right now. I'm going within and I'm going to take baby simple steps. I'm not going to go and overcomplicate my life too much. And I certainly don't want anyone else's energy anywhere near me while I'm doing this. So that's what I just do a very simple angel prayer. I would just say, angels, shield me right now. Don't even feel like you need to visualize the shield. Just ask them. Say, just shield me right now. My guides, shield me right now. Keep me protected in love, and just keep me safe and keep me within for now in this solitary, like in the tarot, we call that the hermit moment, where you're just going within and it's just you and your energy. And ask them to, and even, give a lot of love to your third eye. You can put some rose quartz on your third eye and just give it some love and just say, okay, we're going to rest now. And that's okay. Now, she asked the brilliant question, though, what happens if you've got a lot of stress going on and you need to be open? So, and that can happen. I mean, if you've got a lot of stress going on and you've got clients, or, you've got a lot of stress going on, say at work, and you're not sure if someone's undermining you and you kind of really need intuitively to know those answers, then again, keep it simple. Don't try to overwhelm yourself with doing too many things. I would just really focus on going, okay, sometimes people might say to me, well, give me something more, but I can only go with what works for me. I just tap. I'm a big fan of tapping. Those of you who have done my Boost Your Psychic Gifts with the EFT tapping course know I use tapping every time I go into stress. Like, I have different levels of stress. Like, if I'm absolutely beside myself and it's been going on for a few days, then I will call in one of my big guns, one of my spiritual healers, and I'll get a healing because I can see that something's really needs to be shifted and I can't do it. If it's just something that's going on right now and I've gone into anxiety about it, then I just tap it out. I just release it. I just tap it out and I go, okay, I'm letting this go now. I'm letting it go. I identify what it is. And if you want to learn more about that, definitely go and do that, because I do it all the time. I find it a really, go in and learn about how to do that. But I let it go and I say, okay, I'm going to just tap on this. And even when I'm angry and I'm going, I don't want to tap, I'm sick of tapping, it doesn't do anything, I still do it, because within a very short frame of time, I start to just chill a bit and realize that the stress, that I can manage it. And I think that's what I love so much about tapping, is it teaches me that it parents me a little bit. I can manage this. It's okay. I've got this. And, you know, when you're overwhelmed and exhausted and stressed, that's the best kind of thing for me. And again, the long walk in nature, like the amount of times I have been beside myself and burnt out and stressed and gone for a walk doesn't solve all my problems, but it gives me enough of like a little window. It just gives me enough of a window to be able to know there's hope, and that, okay, it's not that intense. I can manage this. Like, it gives you your self-worth in knowing how you can manage your life and what's currently going on in it. So those are the little things I would do, like, because when you're in nature, you're still very intuitive and you're giving yourself those tools. And when you're tapping, you're still able to be open, but you're kind of in that protective mode as well, where you're managing it and you're not feeling too overwhelmed. So those are a couple of things I would do. And your last question, Nikki, which I also loved, is what did you say that I really resonated with? Oh, I've lost it. Intentionally closing down. Yeah, something about, okay, so with the rituals, like, what I would do is just continually talk to your angels. Like, that's all you, and guides. Just say to them, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, this is too much. Shut me off, but let me know if I'm in danger, you know, like that kind of thing. Like, give them the conversation, talk to them. And when I remember now, you mentioned about how, what happens when you want to open yourself up again. Again, if you've been through a bit of an intense time and you want to open yourself up again, then I would just do a quick short exercise, like something, start very small. Don't overwhelm yourself. So in my Psychic Readings Intermediate course, I'm not sure if you're enrolled in that, Nikki, but I've got like nearly 40 exercises that you can do that strengthen your clairvoyance and your clairaudience and your claircognience and your clairsentience. Go in, choose one of them, just a 2 or 3 minute exercise, and say, okay, I'm going to try this for the next 3 days. I'm going to do this for the next 3 days. And just start very small. And that way you're not overwhelming yourself too much. And be gentle with yourself, and take a lot of time and patience would be my best suggestion with that. So I hope that has helped, Nikki. It's not something that can be solved overnight, definitely. It does take a little bit of time, but I don't want to give you solutions that will take you hours and hours of complicated rituals. For me, I've often found I'm someone who overanalyzes things a lot, and I might, if I know I've got a big complicated ritual to do, I'm more likely to question it and go intellectualizing with it, instead of just doing something small and little that can actually just start opening things a little bit. So I hope that's helped, gorgeous. Oh, hi, Gaia Angelique. Lovely to see. That's what I do. Eileen says that too. Wonderful. Thank you. So, second question comes from Lita. And Lita says, this is a really cute question. She says, okay, so I'm really drawn to crystals, and I bought a whole lot of crystals, but now I'm confused. I'm confused because I don't know which ones I should be using. Some are for psychic development, some are for protections. How do I start? So the first thing I would do with that one is, and I'll give you some 3 basics, and the lovely Peter and Lauren mentioned clear quartz and rose quartz and black tourmaline. I would say, I mean, with something like that, I've got all these crystals, I don't know what to use. Think of crystals like, you just bought a whole bunch of self-help books, you know, so you've over the years, if you're anything like me, and if I could show you a picture, you'd laugh. I've got probably about 50 self-help books all on the left-hand side of me here. And it's a little bit like, okay, I'm struggling with this issue in my marriage, or I'm struggling with this issue with my health, trotting along and just, you know, skimming through it and going, which do I need the most now? What's the most important? Okay, this is what's bothering me the most right now. I'm going to use that. I'm going to read that book. And crystals are the same. Like, if you are struggling with which one am I drawn to, and intuitively, if that's not working for you, then like right now, then just try to do it from a very intellectual process. Like, okay, what do I need the most? Okay, I feel like I need to calm down. And, you know, I'm really anxious about which crystal to use. What helps me calm down? Blue lace agate. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to use that. Rose quartz is what I would call use for any kind of purpose crystal, because it's, I mean, for me, the ultimate thing of manifesting anything in your life and improving anything in your life comes from the heart, and comes from healing your heart, and it comes from being able to, like, the heart is the, in Chinese medicine they call it the emperor, and they, for a reason, it really is in charge. And so rose quartz is a fantastic first crystal to start working with, because it is about opening and clearing and healing your heart, and that brings you into a much more loving and receptive space so that you can receive what you need. And also it's very healing, so it makes you feel a bit more gentle, so and compassion and forgiveness, all those incredible spiritual lessons. So I would start, if you're looking for something to start with rose quartz, and then choose everything else based on a need to know basis. So if you need to manifest money, look at citrine. If you need to open your psychic gifts, look at azurite and malachite, and look at tanzanite, and look at some of those crystals I've talked about in this course. And clear quartz. If you're looking for some grounding, go those earthy stones. Like if you feel like you're too overwhelmed and up in your head, then go with the jaspers, and go with the, the beautiful earth stones that come along, like tiger's eye, like anything that's grounding. So whatever you need the most, go for that, but don't feel like you have to get 50 different crystals and put them all around you, because that will dilute your energy a little bit. And it'll dilute their energy. Like, just stick with one and practice one, and work with that for a week. And on that note, another lovely student in the Q&A board, she posted, and I'm sorry I've forgotten your name, but she posted about, how do I use these? Do I sit with them? Do I do grids? For me, in the beginning, keep it very, very simple. Like, I just actually sit there and hold a crystal like a black tourmaline in my hand, and I can stroke it and breathe in and out. I can meditate with it. I can have it on the table when I'm doing readings for people. Like, there's no big complicated thing you need to do. But I do suggest, if you start to feel your gifts unfolding with crystals and you feel like you're resonating with them, then do go and do a more detailed advanced course, like something like Debbie Hardy's course, for example, on Udemy is fantastic. But go in and start looking at it on a deeper level. But in the beginning, the worst thing you can do when you're opening up your psychic gifts is to overwhelm yourself by trying to do too much. Start very simple and then grow and build from that, and that will help you a lot. So I hope that's helped, Lita. I would start with rose quartz, and then do the need to, whatever you need, go out and pick it as you need it. Okay, so now, Jenny, I read yours today. Jenny posted the most fabulous post today that I loved, and I read it and said I have to talk about this today because it's awesome. So she talked about how she did the guided meditation, and when she got to the bridge, she didn't care anything about connecting with her guardians. She just danced and sung and just had a good time and laughed, I think she said. Like, she was just laughing and laughing and laughing. And for me, that is the perfect epitome of how I want the guardian angel experience to be for you. Because when I'm talking through connecting with your guides and angels, like, you might definitely go down and see exactly what I'm saying, or you might totally have a different experience, and that is perfect. Like, your psychic gifts will open up according to whatever your soul needs right now. So for Jenny, she just needed to laugh and laugh and laugh. Like, actually having a conversation with her guardian angels, for me, the soul said, no, okay, it's not the time. We're just going to have some fun and relax. And I can't emphasize how much, when you do my guardian angel thing or anyone else's, like, how much being playful and going, look, I'm just going to have fun with this, and I'm just going to, whatever I need to know will come out, instead of trying to go, okay, well, I have to meet my guardian angel, because if I don't, then I've wasted my money on this course, or if I don't, it means that I'm not psychic and I'm never going to have, my angels aren't with me, or I don't deserve angels, or there's something wrong with me, or, like, the first default things that most people do when they don't meet their guardian angels straight away is they go into judgment. They either judge themselves or they judge something else, and judgment is one of the biggest blockers to opening your psychic gifts. If you're willing to just go in there and have fun and just go, okay, whatever comes in, and it doesn't have to be the perfect experience where where you get a chorus of angel music coming through and an angel gives you this incredibly profound message. Sometimes it might be simply that you just feel more at peace, or it might be, and that's all you need for now. And then Go through and work with the cards and, you know, get a bit playful with the rest of your tools, and then go back and do it again and see what comes through. So it's a very incremental process. Don't feel like you've got to rush in and have all of your life's answers, questions straight away. And please don't think I'm even judging that, because I did that. I used to do that too. But I've learned the hard way that it is about taking it very, very, very progressively, slowly, and you get the best results with that. So I hope that has helped. And for anyone who struggles a bit with connecting to their guardian angels. Now, I'm going to add to that by Miranda's incredibly powerful post. And if you are in the Facebook group, I do recommend you go and look at it. I will post the link for it here because it was so inspiring this week. Miranda wrote about how she had tried the guardian angel meditation and tried it a few times and nothing had happened. And she was obviously frustrated, and she went, okay, and she took a break. She went off, and I recommend this to everyone if this happens to you. She focused on her oracle cards. She focused on her tarot cards. She did some Reiki and some self-healing on herself, and she got some healing done. Then she went back and did it and had this incredibly powerful experience, and where she could see, like, she was actually having a conversation with ego. Ego was trying to block her and control it, which often happens because we think this is how my experience should be, or this, you know, I'm worried, or I'm doubting it, or this must be in my imagination. And she had very firm words with ego, because remember, that's what goes on here. You're in control. Like, you're the one that gets to stand back and say, this is mine. This is I'm going to claim this. And she claimed it, and she really had this incredible experience where she saw her guides as a dragon, and she saw these fairies, and she saw all this really powerful stuff. But again, she did need to go away. And so going back to that soul thing, like, obviously her soul wasn't ready back then to start seeing all that, and trust your soul on that one. She went away, she did some work and came back, and then it was a totally different experience. So if you are ever getting challenged by connecting, I would definitely, you know, and first of all go, okay, am I judging anything here? Am I in judgment of myself? Am I beating myself up? Am I judging Sal? Am I judging you to me? Am I judging whatever? And just say, okay, you keep carrying on with that whatever's going on there. I'm going to try and just allow this, and I'm going to have some fun the way that Jenny did. Maybe I end up just dancing. Maybe I just end up feeling. Maybe I just breathe. Maybe, you know, and just allow, because your psychic gifts will absolutely triple fold if you are willing to just let your soul be in control and not your ego and your mind. And, you know, so I hope that helps. And also, you know, as I always say, at the beginning, say, whatever, I'm going to really, whatever happens is what I need right now. By saying that, you're not like, all my life's answers questions, and if I fail at this, it means I'm never going to be a psychic and I have no angels or whatever like that. You know, if you're able to be firm with that in the beginning, it'll be a much more, you know, fun and exciting experience for you. So I hope that's helped, my love. Oh, hello, Lucinda. Mwah, how are you? Shane, hello. Shane is my old buddy from Manly. It's nice to see you. I'm hoping it's the right Shane, unless there's another Shane from somewhere else, but I'm thinking it's definitely you. Raylene, when I did the angel guide meditation, a guide came in bright light and took it all away, as if to say, you're not ready yet. And then she did the same with a past life regression. Hopefully after working with the other stuff, I can have a similar experience. Oh, Raylene, that is amazing. Like, what I love about that is that I love that you haven't gone into massive judgment of yourself or your process. You just said, okay, it's not the time. I'm going to try something else and then I'll come back to it. Like that's amazing, because the fact that, you know, it's to take it all away and says not right now. And there can be so many reasons for what not right now. Please don't freak out about them. I know with me and my soul journey, as my healing gifts opened up and as my psychic gifts opened up, they just had to be there open when I needed them. And it's a little bit like, and I've talked about this a lot in some of my later courses, it's a little bit like understanding that your journey to your psychic connection is exactly the same as your spiritual journey here on earth. It's going to be filled with surrendering. It's going to be filled with trusting yourself. It's going to be filled with trusting the process. It's going to be filled with forgiveness of yourself and non-judgment. Like it's exactly the same process. And so please don't freak out if it hasn't conformed to what you think it should be or what you wanted it to be, because soul has a completely different, exciting version waiting for you. And that will take its beautiful time. And if you're willing to go away and try other things, you will get the best results. And as I said, my basic 101 is go back in and play with cards, because oracle cards have this light, beautiful energy, and you know they're not overcomplicated. And you know, go back in and play with them and get a bit of self-assurance and self-confidence with the cards, and then see where you're feeling at, you know, connecting again. Thank you, Raylene. Okay. Okay. Oh, now Brandy's question was really, really good. So, and I've seen this happen quite a lot, where somebody, so I assume another psychic, told her she was clairvoyant, but then she started having these really powerful clairaudient experiences. So she was waking up in the night and hearing really powerful messages. She was waking up and felt like someone was in the room and they were talking to her, and you know, all these. And so what does that mean? And she wanted to know, what does it mean? Does it mean that my guides are trying to connect with me? I would say 100% yes. And I'd also say one of the things I've learned that's really helped me with understanding psychic development in general is try not to worry too much about labels. Like, I give it labels just so that when it comes along you go, okay, that's what that is. But if someone's told you you're, you know, clairvoyant and all you're getting is clairaudient, then just that's what's going on right now. Like, my readings and my healings, for example, dance between all of them. And sometimes I get this thing where I'm like, yeah, no, I'm clairvoyant, that's what I am. And then I'll have a whole session that is just clairaudience, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm that and I'm that. So be, you know, just be experimental, be curious. That's my big tip. Be really curious about it, but don't worry if it's not conforming to titles. Like, I've worked with so many clients and so many students, and I've seen, like in my 10-week advanced tarot program where I pair my students up to give clairvoyant healings and readings, tarot readings on each other, I've seen the most amazing stuff come out when they're reading each other. And it's like, you know, there's no logical little category I can shove that in and say, well, that's this, that's their gift, that's this. It's just, you know, what's coming through. And so be, you know, like, you know, your psychic journey is exactly the same as an artist's spiritual, you know, an artistic journey. If you're creating a painting or you're creating a book, you know, like, there's not one necessarily structural thing to do it. So what I would do, you know, if someone says, oh, you're this, and you find you're something that, go, oh, that's all right, well, maybe I'm both, and I'm just going to go with what feels most comfortable right now, and I'm going to experiment with that and not worry too much about titles or labels, and that'll help you a lot. Okay, my loves. Angela. So I hope that's helped, Brandy. Angela, I did a past life meditation and I was being hung for being a witch. I've had that one, honey, and it's not fun. I had the thrown off the cliff thing, and it's really not fun. And you were a herbalist in the past life. I think that's why you would fear exploring mediumship. Yes, absolutely. Like, and that is, you know, like, as someone who wants to help you the best I can, I'm aware that sometimes when people ask me questions and I say, well, I think the best thing for you to do is to go and do my past life therapy course, you know, and it's not me just trying to upsell. It's actually because sometimes, like, I create those courses to help people release those big blocks that need a whole course, you know, to explain it. Like, you can't answer that in one, you know, 10-minute answer. It's something that's a whole journey that someone needs to undertake. And I know, Angela, like, that's, you know, that must have been so confronting and painful, but the awareness and enlightenment that you experience when you see what's happened to you in a past life, and you go, well, no wonder I'm afraid of exploring being a medium, or no wonder I'm terrified of charging money when I, you know, in another life I charged money and people beat me up for it, or, you know, no wonder I'm resisting this, or no wonder self-sabotage keeps coming in and people keep interfering and things are going wrong constantly with my goal and my path to be a professional psychic or a professional healer, because, you know, in another lifetime this was the worst thing that ever happened to me, and it was the worst decision I ever made, so because I was punished. So yeah, definitely, if, you know, that's one of my number one responses to people when they're blocked and they're consistently struggling. I say to them, look, try to do try to do either my past life course or someone else's. Try to get in and see what might have caused it in another life that's terrifying you in this life, and that's maybe putting some kind of obstacle because you don't want to be open and receptive to non-physical beings again because you were in another life and it really hurt you. So yeah, that totally understands. That totally makes sense, Angela. Absolutely. Misty, hello, welcome. I know you had a bit of a process getting into the group, so it's wonderful to have you here. Brandy, it helped? Awesome. I'm so glad it helped. That's wonderful. Oh, you're going to do the course. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Look, I mean, the thing with the course is that it goes right into all your different karmic attachments, your unique soul journey. It goes into all these different facets of what can be behind the past life. It's not just one regression. It's kind of like the whole theory and then the practical. Wonderful. Hi, Jay. How are you? I hope you're going well. Okay, guys. So if anyone's got any other questions, please feel free to post them here and I'll answer them. And as I said, if you're just joining me or you're joining me on the replay, please put #replay just so I can go back in and answer you later. And if I haven't answered your question right now while I'm live, I do apologize because occasionally questions don't pop up. Technology sometimes like perfect. Jay, wanted to check in. I'll watch later. I want to thank you personally for such great courses, groups and chats. I've helped you immensely and you're working with your abilities and have a great client base. I'm even getting regular bookings all thanks to the support from you. It gave me the confidence to push forward and I know now my path's on. Jay, thank you so much. You have made my day. Thank you. I'm so glad. Look, that's the reason I do this because I want people to not be afraid of what they can accomplish and feel when they tap into their gifts and how they can share that with the world and help others. So thank you so much, Jay. That's a beautiful thing to say. Thank you. And I hope I'm getting to help everyone. I hope you're all noticing some kind of difference and some kind of significant change in your life. And even if you're starting small and it's incremental, give yourself lots of encouragement and give yourself lots of gratitude that you're even being brave enough to try. So thanks so much, Jay. I really appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing and hearing about you getting more and more bookings and growing your beautiful business. I'm very excited. I know I've seen you in the Psychic Healing Hub as well, which is awesome. Okay, my loves, if anyone's got any further questions, please pop them in. Otherwise, I will sign. Oh, Tracy, yes, I caught you live. Woohoo! You got me live. I know. You don't. It's a bit of a tricky thing to get it exactly at the right time, isn't it? I'm so glad you guys are here. Awesome. April. I think that for a long time I've been afraid because I had experience with demons, and at the time I was never open to my gifts. Oh, look. I so understand that, my love. And you know, as I talk about in the beginning of How to Be Psychic, like my early psychic experiences were horrifying. And look, and sometimes, and I will be very honest with you because I don't like to sugarcoat this. Sometimes even now I can be like, oh, like I just came back from 3 weeks in Bali and I was staying in Uluwatu, and in Uluwatu there are lots of people that burn down the street in the main street going to the beach, and they don't wear helmets. And there's this thing about, you know, tourists and Westerners when they go to Bali, they would never ride, you know, and these people don't even know how to ride scooters in their own country, and they come to Bali and they don't wear helmets. And I'm sitting there and trying not to freak out because I don't know if this is the old teacher in me from being a high school teacher, but I can't look at people riding dangerously on roads with trucks and you know, with no covering and not wear helmets. It does my head in. And those of you who remember from the beginning of How to Be Psychic, I had a really powerful dream that my partner of the time died, and I didn't know if he was dead, in a motorbike accident. And because he was wearing a helmet, when it happened in real life, because he was wearing a helmet, it saved his life. And so, you know, I have a bit of a trigger with that. And I've also had friends die in Bali on motorbike accidents. So, you know, it's a thing for me. And I try not to go there too much with it. But I started doing this counting where I was like, okay, 50% of people aren't wearing helmets. And, you know, and I'm getting all... Anyway, I had this very strong thing with it. And I went, okay, I need to shut this down because it's kind of ruining my relaxing time. And the day I left, you know, my taxi driver said, yesterday... you know, Australia, I think I was an Australian, but, you know, Westerner, came off, hit by a truck, no helmet. You know, the helmet would have saved their life. And I just went, oh, okay, I want to shut this down. I don't want to keep getting the visuals and seeing that stuff before it happens. So I get, you know, it can be scary. And then when dark forces come in and you feel like you're being a bit haunted almost, I get that as well. And so all I can say to that is really be stern with your guides and angels and say, if I'm going to be connecting, you only connect me to the light. And, you know, that's all I want. You know, I only want the light. Connect me with that. and be vigilant with your beautiful crystals. I would, if I was someone who was afraid of that, I would meditate every day, and as much as possible, just even 2 minutes, just to get yourself present and grounded. And then if you have dark experiences coming, you'll be stronger with them. And especially I'd look at your dream work. Like, I'm a massive fan of going into the unconscious and really standing up to that stuff and confronting it. So I would go into that as well, April. But yeah, definitely I would give yourself as much protection as you can, and feel free. I mean, people have often reached out to me and they've said to me, oh, I've got all these mediumship gifts coming in, but I'm afraid. And I go, well, and I'm like, well, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to do mediumship readings. Like, I don't do them, and plenty of psychics don't do them. I think there's a bit of a misconception with being a psychic, that people assume that because you hang your banner out and say I'm a psychic and I'm taking psychic readings, that it means you do everything. And it doesn't. Like, I don't do palm reading, I don't do tea leaf reading, I don't do mediumship on the level of connecting in with people who have deceased. It happens to me by accident, like, then it comes through, but I don't do it deliberately. So, don't feel like you have to be the jack of all trades. Like, do what you're comfortable with. So I hope that has helped, April. Tig, you love my courses. Thank you. Eileen, I'm also grateful because after doing the first course, I've been doing markets and getting amazing opportunities to build my psychic biz. Thank you, Eileen. I feel like hugging you, because that is, people often, that's probably my other number one question, is I say to people, how can I become a professional psychic? And look, I've got courses on that, about how to earn more income as a tarot reader. But also the first thing I'll say is, get out there, get absolutely out there, go to markets and fairs, get out there, because that baptism of fire that I went through, where I did 17 readings on one day at a Mind Body Spirit Festival, like, after that, I was so confident. Like, I really thought, okay, I've got if I can do that, I can do anything. Like, that's how it kind of felt for me. So yeah, get yourself out there, get that beautiful feedback, and do what you can to bring as much practice experiences in as you can, definitely. Gaia, I've been working with my gifts for some time now. I blocked myself when I was a teenager, just like me. Yeah, very common. And now I'm having trouble not doubting myself. I'd like to know how I can stop overthinking and put myself out there. Okay, great. That's a great question. So the first thing is, and again, I'm kind of default to what I said before, what I would do is I would look at doing some kind of tapping or healing modality for yourself. Okay, that's probably going to be your best way, because I can give you a theory. I can say, well, there's no need to be afraid, and, just go out there and read. But I know the human spirit and the human experience is we get very fearful of, especially when we've had negative experiences in the past. So, either do my Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT tapping, or someone else's. Like, learn how to manage it. Like, learn how to manage your stress and your anxiety and your fear. So every time before I do a reading, I tap. And I tap about, I go through the rituals that I go through in that course, where I say, release anything that's blocking me. But I also go in and tap on individual things. I say, that time when I had that horrible nightmare about my boyfriend in the motorbike accident, and then I didn't want to open up my psychic gifts. I was so afraid of them. I was so afraid back then. I'm afraid now. What if I predict someone dying and they die? What if I see something awful? Like, and I tap. I'm a real, and I just keep going. I do that for 3 or 4 minutes. And then it's like the charge isn't so strong on me. It doesn't have such a possession on me. And I think one of the reasons that people, like, they might start tapping but they don't keep going, is they go, okay, well, it should solve all my problems forever. But like, for me, it's a consistent thing that I do. It's like yoga. I do it all the time, because whenever I'm going into stuff and fears. So I would go into shifting that old trauma. And if that doesn't appeal to you, find a great healer who can go in. So when I was doing a lot of theta healing sessions on people, that was one of the things I did, where I went in and I went back to the belief system of when it was set up on them at that moment in time, and cleared it that way from the cellular memory. So find a healer who can do theta healing, or a spiritual healer who can clear your cellular memories from that point in time, if you want to do something, more deeper. But if you want a kind of more budget-friendly thing, then yeah, maybe look at doing that course and my course, and just tapping it out and having less of that anxiety. And then if it's still there, then maybe think about getting a spiritual healer, because that's just about releasing trauma from that time. And then you'll feel safer with it. So I hope that's helped, Gaia. Are there any particular meditations you recommend? For what is probably what I would say. Look, I love Insight Timer. There's lots of really great ones on there that I can use, and it's free. So, you know, I go in, I just look at what the most popular one is. So if you're looking at just calming yourself down and relaxing, I often use ones in there. Anything that has the word mindfulness in it, and I read the ratings and see, like, you know, I guess with Udemy courses, you read the ratings, and then I go in and I look and I go, okay, yep, that one works for me. And just a quick, you know, 5-minute one is great. So I use them a lot for guided meditations. If you're looking more at connecting with your angels, I have like intermediate level courses that you can go into. But if you're looking more for calm and peace, I definitely, look at Insight Timer. They're my favorite. I like some of those. Trying to think of who my favorite meditators are off the top of my head. Like, it's an Australian lady in there called Kate. I know that's, hey, I can answer that question because I've got my phone here. There we go. I'm going to go into Insight Timer right now. I also know the wonderful Debbie Hardy does do meditations too. I love her voice. She's not on Insight Timer, but she's on Udemy. I don't want to spend half an hour on my thing looking for stuff. That's not very social. Meditations, if I look at my recent ones, and then I can tell you. It's saying nothing found, probably because I haven't been on here for about a month. Okay, I'll figure that out and I'll pop it in here. So like for me, I just go through and look at people's whose voices I like. Kim Nowell's got a beautiful voice as well. She's someone else I just remembered that I like to listen to. And, you know, so I pick the nice voices. April. That's so much. Oh, thanks so much. You're amazing. That's such a blessing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Pam, you're enjoying my courses. Thank you. Catherine, I wonder if there's just more light now. I had a negative experience with demons in the past, but now I speak with spirit guides most every day. Love and light. Yes, absolutely. Like that could be it too. Like you've actually gone and shifted so much stuff yourself that actually there's more light coming in. Because obviously when we're going through our teenage years, we've got hormones, we've got, you know, the stress of our identity and belonging, and there's a lot more stuff that's going on for us. So, and a lot more pressure on that level of, you know, what am I going to do with my life? Big decisions. So yeah, that could definitely be it too. Take action, do the thing. I did a 2-hour gig. Oh, this is Eileen talking about getting yourself out there for your business. Awesome. I did a 2-hour gig at a wedding where I didn't come up for air the whole time. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I miss those days of that constant, like that adrenaline build. It's awesome. It was amazing. I was also in the psychic reading room at the Easter show in Sydney. That's my favourite childhood memories from the Easter show in Sydney. With all the cattle and the show bags. Now I just need to build it so I have the income to book in for interstate events that I keep being asked to do. Yes, that's a great suggestion, you know, like, so that's my, and I'll give you that. I've mentioned this before in some of our other lives, but I'm going to say it again. Like, one of the biggest mistakes I see that psychics that want to be professionals do, and healers, is they go out and they'll spend $3,000 on a coach, or they'll spend, you know, on this massive, super duper expensive thousands and thousands of dollars program. And then at the end, they're still like, oh, now I've got to get out there and practice. And it's like, well, you could have actually gone out there and practiced in the beginning, but, you know, that's scary. So we can't sometimes think we need these really expensive programs. And often we don't. We can do this on a budget, you know, start with small little programs. And because you do need experience marketing yourself, you do need to know how to promote yourself and put yourself out there. However, like, don't put all your cash flow into that. Like, also get out there and build some cash flow so that you can, as Eileen said, travel and go out there and do more shows and get more people to come in and get to know you. And my other tip is, when you do those things, and I'm sure Eileen did this, make sure you've got your card with your, you know, for more psychic reading information, or for more whatever, like my Facebook page, so that they can connect with you once you've already seen them as well, you know, like keeping that connection going. With doubts, I do what if, and then I do what if don't. What if no one comes? What if all the people come? I love that. What if no one? Yeah, it's true. Like, what if I get no readings, or what if I get 1,000 readings? That's a really good one. Like, what is the worst possible scenario and confronting it? Misty for chakra clearing. Oh, meditations for chakra clearing. Okay. Now the old one I would have recommended for you would have been the Doreen Virtue one. There has been a lot of controversy about her lately. So if you feel drawn to that, I would, that really opened me up with my chakras 15 years ago when I started this journey. So that's a great chakra one. So I would recommend that. You might have ethical reasons about why you don't want to purchase Doreen Virtue's products, which I understand. I do have a video that I added last month in around the oracle card section about using Doreen Virtue products and, making that decision about whether or not you want to use them now that she's had a very big change in how she feels about angel cards. So you might not want that. What would have been my old recommendation. So, but otherwise, yeah, look on Insight for chakra clearing and see what's there. Try a few different ones is what I'd suggest. Is something going on in the atmosphere, Pia asks. I've been having very vivid dreams that come through when they wake me up. I rarely remember my dreams. Look, that could actually just mean that you are opening up, but I know we just had a full moon, so there could be something, some big, huge thing going on in the universe right now, and I'm not aware of it because I've been in Bali for 3 weeks, so I've stayed out of the loop. But, yeah, there could be definitely. I, too, have been having very big, vivid dreams, but I've also been doing a fair bit of detoxing, like emotionally and foodie-wise, so that could be my thing. But yeah, it definitely could be a big shift. I know there's lots of people right now. This year has been a big year for people letting go of stuff that's not working for them, and so old addictions and old patterns and habits. So that definitely could be going on, PR. That could be the astrological influences coming into play to influence what's going on in the stratosphere. Definitely. Yes, all readings get a business card at the end. Yes, awesome, Misty, thank you. Oh, awesome. Thanks, guys. This has been amazing. Thank you so much. I'm just double checking. Misty says, sorry, I just want to make sure I've got everyone's questions. I also blocked my gifts and I've been working on opening back up. So to fear my gifts were very strong when I was younger. Yeah, look, it's so common. Like when we're young and we don't have the scientific stuff going on, or the fear of being, they're strong, and then we get older and we doubt. So that's very, very common. Awesome. Now, if I have missed anyone's question, I am very sorry. And as I mentioned before, please just cool. Oh, Eileen, I saw a post about June 17th to 19th, and I'll see if I can share it and post it in the group. Thank you. Because, yes, maybe there's a big astrological shift going on right now. Ali Maurer is really good. She's got a group called Spirit Tribe. She's been a long-time member of this group too. She often has some really great astrological stuff too if you go and check out her group Spirit Tribe. She often has good stuff on about what's going on astrologically. And, yeah, so I would check that. Pia, that makes sense. Awesome. Okay, my loves, thank you so much for everyone who's joined me for today. And if you've got any other questions, just put #replay so I can come back in and answer them for you. And I hope you're all enjoying the course. And as always, if you need me, just reach out to me and I'm here to help you. Bye.